Hey guys, hope you're doing well. I haven't made a video in a little bit and I always seem to be doing box openings, so I thought I would come on and we're going to see if we run out of light, but hopefully we're going to change Miss Brewster down there. Before I do though, so we're looking at, this is my full collection. I was chatting with a friend of mine and he was asking some questions and suggested a topic that I thought was pretty good. And that is around the buying experience, including, the buying, the actual buying process, and then shipping, because shipping is pretty challenging right now. I know I'm moving around a lot. I'm trying to give you a view of all the babies. So I have 17 combined vinyl reborns and silicones. So 2 silicones, 15 vinyl reborns, and then an 18th doll, which is my little one-of-a-kind ball jointed clay guy, Dexter at the bottom there. And let's see, 1, 2, 4 of them I purchased from other collectors, and then the other 13, my gosh, it seems like so many more than there are, but I swear that's correct, are from Artists Direct. So let's see, if I look at them, I would say 2 of them. 2 of them I had some challenges with. One was a real challenge with shipping. Now, if I look back over the $150 I've had over the course of my, 6.5 years of collecting, probably have had some more challenges than that. I have had one doll that disappeared forever. It was a horrible experience with customs, being that the doll disappeared, but the artist handled it beautifully and did everything she could, which was really to make another doll, which was so generous. So my shipping issue I had really was, it was an international shipment, and it was customs where it got held up. However, there was maybe a communication issue on my part where I didn't clarify the method of shipping. I was really just given a price, and I assumed it was a courier shipment, but it was actually kind of a, what would you call, like parcel. It's not ground, obviously, because it had to ship overseas, but because of that, it got handed over to it leaves the courier's oversight as soon as it hits U.S. soil. Goes into customs, isn't walked through customs, and took weeks when courier service takes just a couple of days. I learned from that experience in that I'll always ask, and whenever possible, I'm always willing to pay, well, always, when I'm financially able, will choose courier, because the risk and the stress and the worry is not worth it. And I had an outbound issue with USPS once upon a time as well, with a custom where the kit was going to Russia, and they ended up shipping it to California and Japan, and the kit disappeared for like 3 months and then made its way to Russia. It was really weird. The other challenge I had out of these dolls, I've had with custom orders and stuff, the negative experiences that I've had over the years mostly came down to communication. I've had the opportunity to really work overall with some incredible artists, and I'm not very demanding when it comes to asking for things. If they offer progress photos, I take them. If they don't, I try to flow with the artist, especially if it's more of a private thing. Like a lot of customs I've done, some of them ask for details of what I'm looking for, but usually it's more so I'm contracting with the artist because of their skill, and I'm not really trying to direct too much of what they're doing. I guess my biggest challenge on that front, when I think about the custom or commissioned orders that I've done, has been around communication. And when I say communication, it's more so like proactive communication. It's really easy to, when you're a business owner, to feel pressured when you're behind, or and so even just somebody asking for an update is like stressful. It could be really stressful. And I think on the collector side, we're so concerned about like pissing off the artists that we try not to, or at least I try not to. I know there are some real nightmare buyers out there too, and then there's a whole gray area in between. But I found as a business owner myself, I am back in the corporate world now, but I was a business owner for a lot of years. Communicating proactively takes care of 99% of the problems. So a lot of times, and it's been with multiple artists, deadlines will change or schedules will change, but I don't know whether everybody has their own reasons, I'm sure, but no updates are provided proactively. So then you're in this weird position where you have to ask for it, even if you're just looking for information, and then you kind of become like, I'm afraid to be a pain in the butt. Those are the biggest challenges that I've had. I can't say that I've ever had a doll made that I was unhappy with, but I would say the two biggest stressors are shipping, and that comes down to shipping method most of the time, and understanding how an issue will be handled if one comes up, right? Like, what if a doll goes missing? What's going to happen? Is the doll insured? Will the artist make it right? Are you going to be in a situation where you have to challenge a payment with your payment method, and then kind of like you don't want to screw over the artist? So what happens? I think these are things we don't always talk about up front with the artists. And then the other thing is, how are timelines communicated? And if a timeline changes, do you get an update, or do you have to go ask for one? So, of course, interested to hear about your experiences. Really interested to hear, how does that affect your connection with the doll, your liking of the doll, your bond with the doll, whatever, however you phrase it? And would you work with that artist again if you've had an issue? I would have to say that there's been there are a couple artists, I wouldn't say necessarily have their dolls in my collection anymore. There are a couple artists that I probably would not buy from again, and even though I love their work, based on some of their business practices and or just their overall friendliness to their collectors and their customers, it definitely impacts it. In some cases, I've gotten rid of their work, and in some cases, I just won't promote their work again, and I won't buy from them again. So kind of a structured question, kind of a not. But I would say overall, and now, of course, like I said, I've done probably about 100 dolls. I'm going to round it. It's been at least that. Last time I did a count, I was in the 90s overall. So I've had some issues over the years, but out of 20 dolls, to really have 17 dolls, to have maybe 2 shipping issues or whatever wrapped up, that's not all that bad. But what kind of issues would make it so that you would not work with an artist again, or buy from overseas again, or do a custom again? Cool. Light is rapidly fading. It is after 4 p.m. here in the central time zone. It'll be dark. The sun will be down within 45 minutes. So I'm going to see about grabbing this girl, because I haven't changed her in a bit, and putting a new outfit on her. So let's go get the camera set up. Oh, hold on. Okay. I think we're good. If you're curious why I didn't just stop recording, I'm trying to avoid having to edit this, because it takes so much longer. Here's my beautiful Brewster. Let's see if we can come a little bit closer to the light. This is the Flora sculpt. She happens to be one of the prototypes by Priscilla Lopez. She's a teeny, she's a little newborn. She's not quite preemie, but she is close. I'm gonna put her into an outfit I've had for a number of years from Patty Inc., P-A-T-Y, who's been making baby clothes for a long time. I like this particular style, this particular fabric she works with. Some of her clothes are in this kind of like muslin fabric, if you can tell. This set I bought came in a bag, like a little gift bag. I've had this all the way back, if you guys remember my silicone sparrow. She was a Nova Sculpt by Lillian Breedville. I had her, and she was, I bought this way back when I had her. And it is white with the baby blue ribbons. I actually have two sets that go with it that are in the same color. This is like a bodysuit, and this one is a top and a bottom. The bodysuit also includes the little booties, and I think that is the one I'm going to put on this little miss, even though we're into the colder temperatures. That's going to, yep, here's the other booty. I think I'm going to put her in that one. I think the long sleeve one is my favorite, but this is kind of unusual. Actually though, my only thing with it is she does not have a onesie underneath. So changing gears, because it ties down the front and it's a V-neck, it won't be that great with her on the cloth body. So we're going to do the full pajama set. I will use the booties from the bodysuit set though. This girl, her gorgeous red hair. This baby, it's so funny how quickly things move out of memory. I can't remember. She came pretty quickly, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure she came by courier and arrived pretty fast. But I could be remembering wrong. So in general, it's an interesting thing, the difference between, I don't have a diaper on her. I've shared that before. I don't do that as much as I used to because it does restrict their movements, especially on a tiny baby like this. It like takes up half their body and then they're less flexible, so I don't put them on as much. In the beginning, and especially, you know, when you have one doll, like, it's kind of sad that it's changed. That excitement of a new baby coming was even bigger. It's still a big deal now. But that waiting period was like a blessing and a curse. Like, it was so fun, the anticipation. So much about the excitement of this hobby for me anyway is the anticipation. But then also like excruciating waiting for that doll to come. And then of course the nerves if something happens to them in transit, all of that. When you put yourself in a situation like I have where you have just like you're buying a lot and selling a lot, it's almost nice when there's a delay so you can slow things down a little bit and kind of force yourself to enjoy. But overall, I think managed expectations and are like, that is if I have a trigger, right or wrong, OCD or normal, healthy, whatever, you know, it may or may, I'm sure there are different layers of all of that. But like if I know a doll is going to take, you know, the artist won't be able to ship the doll for weeks, or it's going to take them 12 months to do a custom, or you know, they're going to ship out this week, next week, whatever. Usually, you know, the information itself is fine as long as I know what to expect. and then, you know, and then I'm fine. And I think that's the same in relationships too. And, you know, so much unhappiness is linked to unmet expectations or unclear expectations. I think communicating up front, like how are we going to handle this situation, or what, you know, what is the plan, what is the communication schedule, I think that can thwart a lot of that. Over the years, though, I think I've had enough negative experiences or challenging experiences that, I don't know, you know, you don't want to be a jerk about it, but it does seem like agreements up front that go both ways would be so helpful. You know, and what responsibility is on the artist's part and what responsibility is on the customer's part. It almost feels like there should be something a little bit more formal with that. Because I think that, you know, we end up with these negative relationships and people putting other people on blast, or people being afraid to honestly share. Like, I would be really hesitant to honestly share a negative experience with a lot of people that I have purchased from, because it's almost not even worth it with the backlash or having to go out and show receipts, and, you know, you're tarnishing somebody's reputation, or you're looking like you're a pain in the ass customer, and knowing what is going to come at you is, you really have to weigh, like, how honest am I going to be? But then at the same time, you're kind of robbing your fellow collectors and on artists on your side when you don't talk about, you know, issues with clients, which it seems like people are doing pretty well with that. You know, you aren't providing that information to other artists so that they can make, you know, decisions knowing what some of the challenges in working with those people might be. Believe it or not, I've really put some thought into how, and I have some ideas, what kind of a forum could we create, a buying and selling platform that would give more of that experience that you get when you're buying a good, like a consumer good, like a car or a product. I know this is art, so that, you know, obviously it's different and it's challenging, but where you can leave honest reviews, there's a rating system, there are required payment schedules in place, there are protections on both sides, there's an agreement, and it's a paid platform for artists and for collectors to opt into that are looking for more of a premium buying and protected buying experience, that would let us be a little bit more real, that would allow us to have some oversight on making sure that the people who want to be a part of that program are protected, and that the kind of the guidelines are enforced, and if they're not, like, you're protected to get out of the deal. I have some ideas. I don't know how many people would participate, and it would take probably a couple of years to really develop it, but it seems like it seems like with how big the community has gotten, how big the kind of the doll commerce has become, that we almost need an option like that for serious artist businesses and collectors to separate the wheat from the chaff. I don't know. Is that a good example term? Yeah, I don't know. And then, you know, have identified, you know, international shipments that run through this platform are only dealt with by courier, or these countries, you know, we use this service, and payment has to be made within this time, and, you know, orders can only be canceled under these circumstances. Obviously it would cost money, but yeah, maybe we'll move in that direction. Anyway, I think overall I've been pretty lucky. I haven't had many nightmare situations, but definitely there are definitely some situations I wouldn't put myself in again. But we gotta get rid of this whole being afraid to speak up and chastising each other for having questions. And it's definitely the draggy side of things. But anyway, I am making up things to say now. So I just want to say, if you are purchasing a doll this time of year, praying for you and easy, safe delivery. I hope nobody's dolls get lost. I hope nobody has any disappointments on any Christmas babies that they are anticipating getting. Wishing lots of success to all of the artists out there that will be selling this year. Hopefully it's a good, fruitful season for you. And that's really all I got. One final look at this girl who I've been fidgeting with the whole time. Blue really looks great with her red hair, doesn't it? Flora sculpt, highly recommend. Beautiful, beautiful tiny newborn. And this one has just got all the things. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back soon, sending out lots of love. Bye for now.